Well, hello, peeps. And here I am coming to you like a good ninja again, and we're going to be discussing the new tier sets coming in 11.1, our Season 2 tier sets. And I must tell you right away, the biggest freaking joke of tier sets for Season 2, at least like a later season, especially when you compare them to some of the Season 1 tier sets. I just feel like this is the only time in history where it was just like a straight up downgrade, especially since tier sets have come back in the game. I feel like we are going into Season 2, and for a lot of the classes, it just feels like the tier set is just worse. Specifically, Demon Hunter, maybe it's just my opinion being kind of shaded by that, because I feel like for Demon Hunter, the tier set is just absolutely garbage, like absolute garbage. And most of the kind of winning streak ones are kind of gonna be garbanzo beans. Definitely tier sets that should have been like Season 1 tier sets, not Season 2. Yeah, in my opinion, especially when you have some of the tier sets in Season 1 being very impactful. But maybe, in a way, these are going to be easier to build with any kind of build. It's not going to be like, okay, it prefers these type of builds, right, to be used. So, in a sense, maybe it's going to be more of a balanced situation, right? But that's like the only plus that I can kind of notice. Okay, so let's get straight into them, and we're going to cover the tanks. The first one, I don't know if this is a mistake or something. I actually had to stop there for a moment. Each time you take damage, you have a chance to activate Luck of the Draw, causing you to cast Survival Instincts. For 4 seconds, your damage done is increased by 50% for 8 seconds after Luck of the Draw activates. Survival Instincts on Blood, okay. Luck of the Draw has 2 seconds increased duration. While Luck of the Draw is active, Death Strike costs 2 less runic power and can strike up to 2 additional nearby enemies. Kinda cool. Do you get actually additional healing from those Death Strike? That's gonna be interesting. Definitely seems a little bit good towards PvP because of the damage increase, and any kind of damage increases for the tank specs usually is gonna make it decent in PvP, or might pop up the tank spec in PvP, I should say. Moving into Frost, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate a winning streak, increasing the damage of your Frost Strike, Glacial Advance by 2%, stacking up to 5 times. Obliterate has a 15% chance to remove winning streak. Okay. Winning streaks are, I must say, the ones that I least like, but some are actually still good. The 4-set winning streak stacks 3 additional times, while on a winning streak, your Frost Strike, Glacial Advance have a chance to cast Frostbite at 50% effectiveness. Frostbite now also benefits from winning streak. Okay. As far as the winning streak one, consider this one actually seems decent. Unholy one is actually also decent. Your spells and abilities have a chance to activate winning streak, increasing the damage of your Death Coil and Epidemic by 3%, stacking up to 10 times. Death Coil and Epidemic have a 15% chance to remove winning streak. This is basically every winning streak tier set works kind of like this. You have the chance to remove it, right, and stop it. Casting Dark Transformation grants up to 10 stacks of winning streak to get full stacks, right? And while Dark Transformation is active, the effectiveness of winning streak is increased by 100% and no longer has a chance to reset. This just seems broken compared to like, yeah, this is like the strongest winning streak one, I think. And yeah, it just seems broken patently compared to the other ones. I mean, 10 stacks and they're doubled in effectiveness, meaning that this is 60% increased damage on Death Coils. That sounds very, very nice. I mean, ultimately it is just that, right? So it is just going to increase the damage of Death Coil and Epidemic, so it's not like it has any other interaction. So as far as winning streak one's definitely the one that seems the strongest to me. And now we are at the Demon Hunter, and this is gonna, I think for me this killed my soul when I was reading. I was so excited to read these tier sets, and then I read the Demon Hunter one, I was like, oh, So your spells and abilities have a chance to activate winning streak, right, and increases the damage of your Blade Dance and Chaos Strike, stacking up to 10 times. Blade Dance and Chaos Strike have a 15% chance to remove winning streak. 4-set winning streak persists for 7 seconds after being removed by the Blade Dance or Chaos Strike. So you get it removed at 7 stacks, you get a 7% damage buff that is gonna last for 7 seconds. And then if you enter Demon form, you will sacrifice your winning streak to gain a 1% critical strike chance per stack consumed. That lasts 15 seconds. Why is this 1%, bro? Why are these 1% compared to like the other ones? Like that seem at least like 3% or something. Like the biggest joke of freaking tier set ever. Not to freaking mention that it is also just a VK or a package that you're just gonna have to use to if you want to actually like min-max this or actually use this properly. And yeah, I think first time since they've added tier sets pretty much, or first time in a long time, I should just say like that, we're gonna actually not run tier sets. Like I think in Season 2 of of WoW 18 right now, the way it's looking to me, we're not gonna run tier set in PvP. Like, there's no chance in hell that this is gonna be worth it, like, or just good. Like, I just don't feel like these are such low numbers, like low numbers, and for such a low effect. Like, entering demon form sacrifice is meaningless to give you crit chance compared to you use, let's say you could use demon form and just get all your stacks and then have those stacks increased by 100%. Like, how are these two next to each other? And like, people didn't see, like the developers didn't see, okay, this seems heavily undertuned compared to this, or like this seems almost as a joke compared to this one. Like, I don't know. Like, the main thing for me, I must say, is like that patently this is just gonna need you to use like weak hours, and a lot of these are just gonna be like weak hours, and that just freaking sucks, dude. Like, I don't know why they're going this kind of managing buff direction for these tier sets, but then that's the idea, that's the kind of thing that I wanted to go for. Moving into Vengeance, each time you take damage, you have a chance to activate Luck of the Draw, causing your cast of Metamorphosis for 4 seconds. Your damage done is increased by 15% after the Luck of the Draw activates. So you just have a very chance to be able to cast your Metamorphosis for 4 seconds, and your damage is going to be increased for 15% after 10 seconds. So, very nice. The Hunt has a high chance to refresh its cooldown when you gain Luck of the Draw. Balance, your damaging spells have a chance to hit a jackpot, growing a Vile Mushroom at a recently enemy locations at 100% effectiveness. Casting Celestial Alignment or Incarnation, Chosen of a Loon, always hits a jackpot. So you can have a way to proc these. The jackpots are the ones that feel the best to me, the way I'm looking at these tier sets. Like, the jackpot ones are actually, like, you can proc it, it just works when you want it to kind of work. Like, it's not just a random thing. Meanwhile, the other ones are just kind of random things that happen sometimes. Starfall and Star Surge damage against targets affected by your Wild Mushroom damage over time is increased by 20%. Just damage over time booster. Feral, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Venus String, increasing the damage of your Ferocious Bite, Rip, Primal Rat by 1%, stacking up to 10 times. Ferocious Bite, Rip, and Primal Rat have a 15% chance to remove the Venus String. Okay. When you consume Apex Predator's Craving, become a big winner, dealing physical damage to Apex Predator's primary target and increasing your damage and periodic effects by 4%. Yeah, I must say also Feral, this kind of feels like a meh one. Like, it's probably not gonna be bad. Like, it has more damage increases, I would say, than like the Demon Hunter one, obviously, but this also just feels like whatever, like 1% of these. Why 1%, brothers and sisters? Like, why even go? Like, I'd rather have 2% 5 stacks. Like, but okay. Guardian, each time you take damage, you have a chance to activate Luck of the Draw, causing you to cast Survival Instincts for 4 seconds. Your damage done is increased by 15% for 8 seconds after Luck of the Draw activates. So this makes me assume that the Blood one that we read originally is just kind of a mistype, or just like a little mistake there, right? This is probably the Blood one was probably just for Guardian. Because, like, why would Blood DK be casting freaking Survival Instincts? After you gain Luck of the Draw, your next 10 Druid abilities cast another Druid ability at 125 effectiveness. Damn, son, this might be actually kind of bursty. Like, when after you get like Luck of the Draw on the Druid, you might be actually able to just do some nuts burst. But we'll see how it's choosing abilities. Maybe it's choosing more defensive abilities because it is a Guardian right tier set. Moving into Restoration, your healing spells have a chance to apply Insurance to their targets that heals them for 15 seconds. Insurance is consumed if any ally drops before 40% health. Okay. I said before instead of below. But in the case here, that sounds like a nice little thing. Life Blooms has a 30% chance to apply Insurance to its target for 10 seconds. When Insurance is consumed or removed, it leaves a missing Rejuvenation, Regrowth, or Vile Growth heal over time. On its target. Missing? I guess if one of these three is missing, it's gonna cast one, or if all three are missing, it's gonna cast one. The way I'm looking at it, this sounds like a very nice tier set. Like, why not have more tier sets like these? Like, it's sure you have, it's kind of a random chance, whatnot, right? But it's not like a huge random chance, and then it's like it has like kind of like actual flavor effect. It actually does something. It's not just bonus damage, bonus healing, or you know, whatever. Like, actually decent. But before I let you get on with the video, I do have to inform you that only 4.3% of you subscribed. So if you have been enjoying the content, please consider smashing that subscribe button. Now lately, YouTube is restricting most of my videos for some reason, maybe because of my potty mouth, but regardless, if you want to keep up with the current Mikadika content, do consider smashing that notification bell. So moving into Augmentation Evoker, your damaging spells have a chance to hit a jackpot, causing an upheaval at 100% effectiveness does not knock enemies up. Casting Breath of Eons always hits a jackpot. So nice little bonus, just a burst thing that happens when you're doing Breath of the Eons, or just that can happen randomly on your abilities. For set, your appeals have a 100% chance to grant Essence Burst, and eruptions cast while Essence Bursts deal 25% increased damage. So just a buff to your Essence Burst and your upheavals, right? The things that are proccing from your jackpot, right? And you're just casting upheaval yourself are gonna proc. Just give you a 100% chance to give you an Essence Burst. So very nice. I think this is gonna be some nice damage bonus. And again, like jackpot ones feel nice, insurance one feels nice, right? And winning streak is kinda meh. Devastation, your damaging spells have a chance to hit a jackpot, launching a shattering star at 3 nearby enemies at 50% effectiveness. Casting Dragon Rage always hits a jackpot. So a nice little burst. Plus, again, you're just having a lucky little thing that can happen. And of course, Shattering Star increases your damage done. So very nice. Casting Shattering Star or hitting jackpot increases damage of your next empowered spell by 20%, stacking up to 2 times. So you casting your Shattering Star normally, hitting a jackpot additionally, you can have a 40% increased empowered spell next. So you do like an insta cast Fire Breath or something that's gonna be doing some insane damage, I think, the way I'm looking at it right now. So you shall see, like, again, jackpot ones, actually decent tier sets, right? An insurance one, let's see. Your healing spells have a chance to apply insurance to their targets that heals them. Okay, this is the exact same thing as like the healer. It's just different spells, right? Probably a procket. And Venerant Embrace always grants insurance to you and your target for 6 seconds, and its cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds. Just feels like, okay, they copy-pasted the thing from Resto Druid, but they didn't like make it work as I would feel like. This like actually feels like a nice little bonus, like having a less globals to press if this gets consumed, right? But this just gives you procs the insurance like 100% of, you know, chance to proc it. Like, I don't know. This does not feel good. The 4 set does not feel good. The 2 set, I think the insurance thing is actually pretty nice, depending on how much it heals. Moving into the Hunter's Gas and your damaging ability spells, again, it's a jackpot. So immediately, when you see jackpots, you can assume those are good. When you see the winning streak, you can assume that is not good. So you can have a chance to hit a jackpot that fires barbed shot at 200% effectiveness, okay? And Cassiel Bestial Rat always hits a jackpot. So, okay, 200%, that's just gonna give you a fatty ass bleed over time, right? But it's also just gonna make it easier for you to keep your frenzy stacks up. Hitting a jackpot infuses your pet with the mutagen, causing its auto attacks to deal nature damage to its target and up to 5 enemies within 10 yards for 10 seconds. Mutagenic attacks reduce the cooldown of Bestial Rat by 1 second. Dude, even more Bestial Rat reduction. Dude, again, like, jackpot ones, good. Jackpot ones actually decent, right? Like, actually decent, actually have something that, like, morphs your character or, like, adds more onto your character. Like, why couldn't they just do jackpots, I guess, for everybody? Or why couldn't they have these winning streaks actually, like, yeah, be as close as interesting to the jackpot ones? Like that, it's kind of a little bit making me salty right now that my Demon Hunter is on a winning streak and not on a jackpot. Your damage spells have a chance to hit the jackpot that increases your auto shot damage by 600% and reduces the time between auto shots by 2 for 10 seconds. Crashing 2 shots always hits a jackpot? Okay, what? You're just gonna get autoed to death by freaking marksmanship hunters? What? And also reduces the time between auto shots by 2 seconds. Dude. Seems a little bit nuts, man. I don't know. This seems a little bit nuts. Consuming lock and load also fires an explosive shot at 200% effectiveness. Bro, again, like, what are these numbers, bro? Like, why is this 200% effectiveness explosive shot, right? Being casted on your insta-cast, right, aim shot. And then my Demon Hunter gets a 10%. If you get all the stacks, you can get a 10% crit buff. Okay. Okay, jackpot ones are you hit the jackpot. If your class has jackpot, you hit the jackpot. If your class has winning streak, it's actually, this is a lie, it should say losing streak. It's kind of a meme. Survival, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate the winning streak, increasing damage of your wildfire bombs by 3%, stacking up to 6 times. Again, actually tuned to go okay, like 3%, stacks 6 times, not freaking 1% stacking 10 times. Like, okay, why is this so much better? Wildfire Bomb has a 15% chance to remove winning streak. Okay. When winning streak ends, your next skill command deals 200% additional damage and generates 3 stack of the tip of the spear. brothers and sisters. Okay, this is actually a good proc, but like again, you have a weak aura, you're tracking this, and then you have like a burst window. Like you're gonna, I just don't like. I patently don't like things that are designed like this, where you having a weak aura benefits you basically for tracking and like min-maxing your damage, or it's weak auras is necessary for you to min-max your damage. Something that I just patently do not like. Moving into mages, arcane, your damage and spells have a small chance to hit a jackpot, granting you clear casting and 8% increased spell damage for 12 seconds. Casting Touch of the Magi always hits jackpot. When you hit the jackpot, you also gain Aether Attunement for 100% effectiveness. So, just decent again. Jackpots are just good, guys. Your damage and spells have a chance to hit the jackpot, reducing the cooldown of combustion by 3 seconds. Even more cooldown reduction on combustion. Casting combustion always hits a jackpot at 200% effectiveness. So your combustion just has a 6-second cooldown reduced at the start of it. The way I'm understanding this. When you hit the jackpot, your damage is increased by 15% for 7 seconds. If you would gain a jackpot from combustion, the duration is increased by 100%. Brother, again, like actually decent damage. Works well with the class as well, I think, but it just adds a decent amount of damage. Like you can see this. This is gonna be good. Again, jackpot ones are just gonna be good. Your damaging spells have a chance to hit a jackpot that fires a frostbolt volley, dealing damage to your primary target and damages up to 8 additional targets. Casting Icy Veins always hits a jackpot. Icy Veins causes you to hit a jackpot at 100% effectiveness every 10 seconds for 30 seconds. Again, like you actually have forced procs with jackpots, and the procs are actually good. Right, and there's no, oh, I'm gonna stack this proc up. This proc is just good baseline. Right, like this proc just is good baseline. Like, why does Fire Mage have 15% increased duration just for hitting the jackpot? Like, and you have to stack up your jackpot, or sorry, your winning streak if you have a winning streak. Like, that just feels like, I don't know, like, just give everybody jackpot style ones. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Moving into the monks, guys, and let's go over the Brewmaster, of course, first. Each time you take damage, you have a chance to activate Luck of the Draw, causing your next, causing you to cast Fortifying Brew for 6 seconds, and your damage done is increased by 15% for 8 seconds after Luck of the Draw activates. It's pretty much a copy-pasta from like the Guardian Druid one. When you gain Luck of the Draw, your next 2 casts of Blackout Kick deal 100% increased damage and incur a 2-second reduced cooldown. So, that could be... Actually, I might make it... you do some nice damage, because you have a 50% damage here, right? Increase, and then you actually have faster Blackout Kicks. Mistweaver, your damaging spells have a chance to apply insurance to the target. Like, again, it's just a copy-pasta. It's just like every healer one, just the same thing. Insurance. Casting Renewing Mist applies insurance for 6 seconds. So, again, you have a 100% chance to apply it. And the healing of insurance is increased by up to 50% in proportion to the coverage of Renewing Mist has on you and up to 10 allies. So at least like you have a 100% chance to proc it, but it's not like, again, you have some kind of an effect, I feel like, or a big effect for your force set. Windwalker, Winning Streak, sadly, abilities and spells have a chance to activate the Winning Streak, increasing the damage of Rising Sun Kick and Spinning Ray Kick by 3%, stacking up to 10 times. Again, just doesn't feel, I don't know, like, why is this to 3%, bro? Rising Sun Kick and Spinning Ray Kick have a 50% chance to remove Winning Streak. Compared to, again, why is this 3% when you have Demon Hunter at 1%, bro? Fist of Fury applies 1 stack of Winning Streak when cast and when finished channeling completely. So you get 2 stacks of Winning Streak just for you using your Fist of Fury, okay? And the damage of your next Fist of Fury is increased by 5% per stack when Winning Streak is removed. Your Winning Streak is always removed when it reaches max stacks. So when you reach your max stacks, you're gonna drop the buff, right? But then you're just gonna have a huge Fist of Fury, right, buff after that, a 50% increased Fist of Fury. That is also going to proc your winning streak all over again. So this actually feels good as far as the winning streak ones. Again, this one actually feels good. You have a way of proccing the winning streak, 100% chance, right, and it kind of has like a flow. Like this feels like, okay, winning streak was well designed here or well done here, but like again, when you look at something like Demon Hunter, like you're just like, what the f is that? Moving into the Paladin, and yeah, I think all the healer ones are gonna have insurance, so the 2 set is just an insurance thing. Divine Toll applies insurance, so all allies hit it heals, sorry, for 8 seconds. Divine Toll's cooldown is reduced by 1 second each time you spend a holy power. So a nice little Divine Toll reduction here on the 4 set. really boring that every single healer 2-set is exactly the freaking same. Like, sure, maybe they could have... I feel like, yeah, they should have just done a little bit more maybe on the 2-sets for the healers. Protection, each time you take damage, you have a chance to activate Luck of the Draw, causing you to cast Guardian of the Ancient Kings for 4 seconds. Honestly, that kind of sounds nuts. Like, that kind of sounds nuts to be just constantly casting Guardians of the Ancient Kings, just having that proc. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna change the story of protection in PvP. I definitely feel like protection has been the weakest in PvP of all the tanks. Well, you have Luck of the Draw, Shield of Righteousness, refunds 1 to 3 holy power. It spends and extends the duration of Luck of the Draw by up to 0.5 seconds, up to 10 seconds. Damn, son. So that's a nice little boost on the 4-set. Retribution, unfortunately, a winning streak. Your spells and abilities have a chance to activate the winning streak, increasing the damage of your Templar's Verdict and Divine Sword by 2%, stacking up to 10 times. Again, I'm sorry that it feels very bad for me to complain like constantly, but like, it just feels so weird that this is 2%, the other ones are 3%, then the other ones are 1, Demon Hunter ones are 1% for some reason. Templar's Verdict and Divine Storm, of course, have a chance to remove the winning streak. When you lose your winning streak, you get the last holy power you spent back, so you removed it with like a Templar's Verdict, you get back that 3 or 4, depending on your talents, holy power back, and for 4 seconds you cannot lose holy power, and the damage of your holy power abilities are increased by 10%. My god, so like an actual good winning streak one. Again, like when you lose it, you want to get it, and then you also want to lose it, because when you lose it, you're just spamming freaking holy power spenders. It's just gonna be Templar Verdict, Templar Verdict, Templar Verdict. Yeah, that actually sounds fun. That actually like sounds fun. Again, actually good winning streak one that actually has like something about you consuming your winning streak. Like not just, oh, here's a little 10% crit modifier, lol. Alright, Priest, Discipline, Insurance, okay. This feels just boring. This is one of the reasons why I said this feels boring. Because you have Priest with 2 healing specs and about 2 damages Insurance. Power Shield is completely absorbed on an ally. They are granted insurance at 40% effectiveness, and allies with your insurance or absorption effects receive 15% increased in healing for, you know, so nice little just bonus to your healing, and of course giving you a chance to proc your insurance without without just proccing it by chance. Moving into the Holy 4-set, Serenity Holy Word, apply insurance for 10 seconds to one target while Apotheosis is up. Your healing is increased by 1% for each insurance active on allies. So, I definitely think the Priest, the Discipline one, looking a little bit better to me when I look at Shadow. Your damaging spells have a chance to hit a jackpot that fires a Void Bolt at an enemy at 200% effectiveness. Okay. Casting Darkest Sanction or Void Eruption always hits a jackpot, of course. Yeah, the jackpot ones I think are still, yeah, just feel the best. Hitting a jackpot grants 5 seconds of Power Infusion. Damn, son. Mind Blast and Void Bolt deal 15% increased damage while Power Infusion is active. Damn, son. Should just get PI every time you're bursting, dude. Yeah, every time you're Void Erupting, you just get PI. That sounds a little bit nuts if this... Yeah, that's a little bit nuts. Yeah, just a little bit nuts. Moving into Assassination Rogue, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Winning Streak, increasing the damage of your Venom, Rapture, and Crimson Tempest by 3%, stacking up to 10 times. When you would lose Winning Streak, you have a chance to instead gain the maximum stacks of Winning Streak for 4 seconds, and these cannot be removed and have a 30% additional effect while immune removal, right? Where you're just immune. This one kind of sounds nice. I do hate these kinds of though where you just kind of have to use a Vicara. Like, when are you gonna pay attention? Did you get this buff or not? Like, so I just feel like I'm patently against a lot of these that are giving, you know, these procs that you just a chance to proc and then you have to kind of track the proc, because the proc adds a lot of damage to you. Like, this is a huge amount of damage. This is 30% of damage plus another 30%, right? So it's going to be like 40% damage increase. So there's a huge damage increase that you actually want to track in PvP, right? And know in PvP. And the only way you're going to track this probably is going to be a Vicara. Moving into Outlaw, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Winning Streak, increasing the damage of your Dispatch by 6%, stacking up to 5 times. Again, kind of feels unfair that they have 10 stacking ones, right? And then you also, Dispatch has a chance to remove it by 15%. Okay, it's a little bit more of a chance to remove it, but then you have something like, you know, the Assassination ones where it's a 50% chance to remove it, and then you have 10 stacks, right? Like, sure, you might get the 4-set proc, but you only might get the 4-set proc. The 4-set proc is not like a guaranteed thing you're getting when you're doing the win streak. Roll the Bones has a 12% increased chance of granting an additional combat enhancement. That is actually nice. and also applies 1 stack of winning streak for each combat enhancement granted. So you just get all your stacks of winning streaks by just roll the bones. That is actually very nice. Or just get a sizable amount of stacks from roll the bones. That is actually very, very nice. But it doesn't make it so that where you want to kind of roll the bones constantly. So you might be sometimes on a good amount of buffs and you don't really want to lose, 5 buffs. Moving into subtlety, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate winning streak, increase the damage of your viscerate, secret technique, and black powder by 3%, stacking up to 10 times. And of course, secret technique, viscerate, and black powder have a chance to remove the... These are just, patently boring, the winning streak ones. While Shadow Dance is active, you cannot lose winning streak, and you gain an additional stack of winning streak each time you would gain one. And deal an additional 6% damage shadow per winning streak stack. So you're doing 60% additional damage, shadow damage, while this is active. Like, how are these fair, bro? Like, how are these numbers makes no sense to me. I really hope this is just the first iteration of these things, because these numbers makes no sense to me. Right. Like, you get extra shadow, 60% shadow damage on your 4 set as a subtlety rogue. And your 3 set is also giving you 30% increased damage on your main abilities. How is this, like, actually boggles my mind. These numbers just feel, I really feel like, I hope these numbers are gonna get looked at, because these do not feel fair one bit. Like, this is a 30% damage increase on your main abilities with an additional 60% damage increase on your 4 set. Like, I really hope these are just some mistakes, because that is just whack, man. That is just whack. Shaman Elemental, your spells and abilities have a chance to hit a jackpot that summons a Fire Elemental for 8 seconds. Casting Ascendance always hits a jackpot. Okay, so you just have Fire Elemental always. When you summon or extend your Fire Elemental, your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and Lava Burst just deal 10% increased damage. Okay. I would you basically just have Fire Elemental all the time. That sounds a little bit nuts. Because, like, yeah, that just sounds a little bit nuts. Enhancement, of course, Enhancement had to get the winning streak. Why would Enhancement get it like a jackpot or something good? Your spells and abilities have a chance to activate winning streak, increasing the damage of your Storm Strike, Crash Lightning, and Lava Lash by 5%, stacking up to 5 times. Okay, it's not a scuffed 10% one. Spending Maelstrom Weapon has a 15% chance to remove winning streak. This just feels kind of weird. Because, like, this is, like, the only one where your completely different abilities are being, like, you're spending a Maelstrom Weapon, but just Maelstrom Weapon damage is not being increased by this. So this is, like, the only one where I feel like, yeah, you can pretty much, stack up Lava Lash and just play, keep smacking Lava Lash, keep smacking some Storm Strikes, and then not really spend, like, Maelstrom. Or, I don't know, this feels kind of weird. When you gain stack of Wind Streak, reduce the cooldown of Doom Winds by 2 seconds, and when Wind Streak is removed, reduce the cooldown of Doom Winds by 10 seconds. So I actually want to remove this winning streak from yourself just to get these Doom Winds as soon as possible again. Kind of bad that they went for a 4 set that's specifically on Doom Winds, because it just makes Doom Winds kind of a must take, right? If you're gonna go for the 4 set, or the builds that are gonna run the tier set are gonna have to use Doom Winds. But yeah, I think this is actually a really good cooldown reduction. Like, this is actually, depending on just how much you're getting the winning streak, but this is actually a really good cooldown reduction. Because let's say you get 10 stacks, that's 20 seconds of the cooldown, and then you lose the 10 stack, that's another 10 seconds of the cooldown, making it 30-second cooldown. Right, so just one kind of stacking or thing, how would you say it, like just one rotation of this stacking up can reduce 30 seconds cooldown. Or you proccing it like back to back, let's say, the winning streak, and then removing the winning streak, you can just remove 20 seconds of the cooldown very easily. Like, this seems a little bit that it could be nuts, but I feel like, yeah, we're gonna have to test this out. Restoration, your healing spells have a chance to apply insurance to their targets. It heals them for over 15 seconds, of course. And when you cast Healing Rain, one ally in the radius has insurance applied to them. Whenever insurance is consumed, your next chain heal, healing surge, or healing wave is increased. So, I must say a decent one, in the sense that you actually have something with your insurance happening. It's not just, oh, you apply your insurance like freaking, what was it, Preservation Evoker. Now, moving into Warlocks, Affliction, the 2 set, your damaging spells have a chance to hit the jackpot that increases your haste by 12% for 12 seconds. And casting Summon Dark Lair always hits a jackpot. Hitting a jackpot also increases the damage of Unstable Affliction by 50% and causes Unstable Affliction to spread to up to 3 targets within 40 yards for 12 seconds.
This sounds a little bit nutty, bro. This sounds a little bit nutty. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, not only do you get haste from the first one, you're also having more, just like straight up more damage on your stable affliction. This kind of sounds nice. It doesn't have like too many effects, right, tied to it, right? And your stable affliction obviously like spreads around, but yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Demonology, your damaging spells and abilities have a chance to hit a jackpot. It summons a Dreadstalker at 165 effectiveness. Why are all these stronger than the actual ability? Casting Summon Demonic Tyrant always hits a jackpot. Okay, that's at least it's tied to like big cooldowns when it comes to Warlocks. Just kind of a, I don't know if that's like a kind of a good thing for balance purposes, because there's some of these jackpots are just hitting on some like 30-second abilities, right? Casting Head of Gul'dan causes you to activate Dreadstalkers to cast a Dreadbite at 50% effectiveness. This damage is increased by 10% for each soul shard spent on Hand of Gul'dan. Okay. Kind of meh, honestly. Moving into Distraction. Your damaging spells have a chance to hit a jackpot that fires a flurry of 12 Demon Fire bolts at 200% effectiveness. Okay. And casting Summon Infernal always hits a jackpot. Okay, so nice little bonus damage. I think this probably is going to be not just a nice, it's going to be a pretty decent damage bonus. Hitting a jackpot increases your mastery by 3%, and your spells gain a maximum benefit from mastery chaotic energies for 10 seconds. Kind of meh compared to some of the other ones, but we shall see how much of this proc is gonna be good. Like, because this proc might be kind of insane, especially if you get like back-to-back procs on it. Moving into the warriors, just spells and abilities have a chance to activate winning streak. I did all my favorite classes have to get the winning streak one, bro. Increasing the damage of your mortal strike and cleave by 2%, stacking up to 10 times. Okay. Overpower has a chance to remove a winning streak. When your winning streak adds, Overpower deals 20% increased damage and recharges at a 75% rate for 2 seconds per stack of winning streak that you had. So if you had like 10 stacks, dude, that's 20 seconds of your Overpower just dealing straight up 20% additional damage and recharging at an insane rate, like 75% recharge rate. Yeah, that actually sounds good, man. That actually sounds good. I don't even mind now that it's 2% per stack for Mortal Strike, but because like when you're just gonna be smacking out overpowers, like you're not gonna have that. I think this is specifically gonna help Colossus, because you're not gonna have those like dead moments, because I felt like that a lot on Colossus. On Slayer, you don't have that, because on Slayer you just get a lot more execute procs, a lot more sudden death procs, and those sudden death procs kind of cover up for the globals that you're kind of missing, I feel like, on Colossus. So this is definitely gonna feel good on Colossus, I think. Especially the Overpower deals at 20% additional damage, like when you're stacked up with your Colossal Might. Fury, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Winning Streak. Increases the damage of your Rampage by 2%, stacking up to 10 times. And Rampage obviously has a chance to remove a Winning Streak. Now, your Forset, when you gain a Winning Streak, you have an even chance to either cause your Bloodthirst to deal 15% increased damage and have a 25% chance to critically strike, or cause your Raging Blow to deal 15% increased damage and generate 2 additional rage. I'm just a little bit confused how this is gonna work. Is this every time you get a winning streak, you're gonna get a chance to get one of these, right? Or is this a chance to proc and then you have an even chance between these two, right? You know what I mean? Is this like 2 dice rolls or is it 1 dice roll, right? Are you just rolling to get Bloodthirst or Raging Blow, or are you rolling to get this effect and then you're rolling again to see if you're getting Bloodthirst or Raging Blow? I think that's the best way I can explain it. I really hope it's the first one, because it's gonna be just a really nice constant damage bonus, right? Where it's just one roll, you're just rolling either Bloodthirst or Raging Blow. And Protection, last but not the least, each time you take damage, you have a chance to activate Luck of the Draw, causing you to cast Shield Wall for 4 seconds. So again, one of those copy-pasta ones, Luck of the Draw ones. Your damage obviously increased by 15% for 10 seconds after. During Luck of the Draw, Shield Sam's chance to critically strike is increased by 50%, and its critical strike reduces the cooldown of shield charge by 6 seconds. Okay, that sounds a little bit nuts. Like, you're just gonna be shield charging a lot. Yeah, for PvP purposes, that sounds a little bit nuts. Like, actual like damage bonus. Like, we're gonna be playing some protection PvP, it seems, in the next season. This sounds like a very fun. Also, shield charge is a mobility ability, so it's not just a stun ability and just a damage ability, it's also a mobility, so this is gonna feel very good for protection in PvP, I think. Gonna make it meta or gonna make it like pop off, I'm not sure, but it's definitely gonna feel better or feel good for PvP purposes. Well, peeps, we have covered
all the tier sets here, and as I've said, my main opinion is that the winning streak ones are just not, most of them are not good. There's ones that are actually good and I think are gonna function good and feel well, specifically using it without a Vika aura. But there's some ones that are just gonna feel probably really bad to use without any kind of Vika aura supplementaries. And obviously the Demon Hunter one, just the numbers feel off. Like the numbers feel off and the effect feels bad. Getting crit chance when you turn into demon form to consume your winning streak, like, I don't know, a lot of other ones are just consume the winning streak, right, and you get a buff. I don't know why it doesn't give us like something like, let's say along the lines when we consume the winning streak, we get like free Fury casts on our Chaos Strike and Blade Dance, like. But no, it's just consume it. You have to use demon form, right? You have to use I-Beam or Metamorphosis to consume it, and you're consuming it to get 10% increased critical chance. Obviously reduced probably by 50% in PvP, so I'm consuming a buff that gives me barely 5% damage, right, to get the 5% chance crit. It feels really, really bad. I feel like Demon Hunter just got the shit end of the stick definitely here. I must admit, we did have really good tier sets in Season 4, Season 3, and even now in Season 1, I feel like our tier set is really decent and feels good to play with. It's not like a huge DPS increase or something like that, but it just feels good to play with. But this feels like almost for no reason, like just a bad tier set, like. And I don't think it's one of those things where, okay, you guys had a good tier set, now you deserve to have a bad tier set. Like, I don't think it's one of those things that works that way. Like, yeah, we should just, everybody should deserve to have a good tier set always, right? So I don't know, this feels just a little bit weak on the Demon Hunter side, but a lot of these, like a lot of the other ones, actually feel really good. Like even the Fury one, that's a winning streak, if it's actually like a constant, it's still gonna be a constant damage increase probably. In any case, peeps, I hope you enjoyed this little video. We are gonna do a full cover of the changes when it comes to Demon Hunter Warrior Enhancement on all the PvP changes here relatively shortly, but I'm probably gonna edit that video for you tomorrow. I did record it already, but I'm probably gonna edit that tomorrow because it's just a longer video. So I really hope you've enjoyed this little video. Like, comment, subscribe, all those things YouTubers want you to do. Have a nice day.